What is up, random person on the internet? RTG here, back with some more Humankind. Last time, we discovered, chartered, and conquered an entire continent. This time, we intend to move. So this is our era where big things pop, little things stop. We should unlock civics shortly. I believe it is at what is it, like 6? It's either 6 or 8 city pop or total empire population. Same thing, well, similarly with religion, which comes at, I think is 8, not 8, 10 pop. We have 6 pop between our 3 units and our 3 in our capital. The capital, I don't mind renaming. Maybe we'll rename it based on whatever culture we're playing, or maybe we'll just change it to like Sydney or Australia, something. Let me know. For now,
you have spread your culture throughout the entire world, achieving silently and subtly what armies and diplomats could not.
Okay, we have spread our culture throughout an entire continent. I don't know why the territory where like Lake Hillier resides technically does not count as Australia. I see coast over this way, so that is a good way to expand. So in between episodes, I was looking at like this. We get a pop next turn. We could mid-max save a turn over here. That's going to go into pop. Boom. So 4 turns. 4 turns till a next population. Still 4 turns. 5 turns, but we save a turn on the lumberyard. So kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I could put one of these guys, you know what, you disband the unit, add it to the population. It's going to be the same 5 turns, but okay, we can do it this way. Drop the industry down, and since we did pick storytellers, well, we did pick astronomy, we'd still gain 1 science per population. We are 1 territory away from an expansionist star, but we have no territories to expand to. I don't think we're going to be able to afford to purchase a lumberyard. But with the natural wonders, we are making decent progress. Like, Uluru gives us faith. Faith isn't necessarily useful till we have enough pop. This is giving us science for common squatters and food for common squatters. Still not very useful because we don't even have these things unlocked yet. Great Barrier Reef though, real MVP, a bunch of influence and money. So the Great Barrier Reef is currently half our income.
An embassy opens elsewhere in the world. Precisely the kind of thing an ambassador would know about ahead of time.
Okay, 6 population, which means we get civics. We could get faith on the main plaza, or we could get just straight up faith on our territories. Though we do want to make...
That seems to leave a lot of interpretation of right and wrong, not to mention yours and mine.
We want to make creating outposts cheaper, because right now we are gathering up on faith. Well, we are gathering up on influence, because once we are able to cross the waters, we plan to do some mass expanding. The Pyramid of Giza is going to be useful. You know what, I don't mind saving a turn off of it. Well, that is all the population we can put into it. We don't need a pottery workshop. Yes is, well, 2 turns for an additional, yeah, that I kind of convinced myself. 2 turns, an additional 4 influence on the main plaza. Yeah. Matter of fact, 1 turn, and boom, we are back to working on pyramids. We don't necessarily need to work on food for a while. We can put down another fish traps. Well, another fish trap when our population grows a bit more. But I don't mind putting some turns into the pyramids. These guys, I don't even know if they're finding anything, since we're kind of... Has anyone moved? Okay. There are surprisingly a lot of people with a lot of stars. I can see, considering I know who is where, I can tell I can tell where these people are, and what I'm seeing kind of makes sense. Ooh, I don't remember if I mentioned it on, I don't remember if I mentioned in episode 1, but we are playing on Humankind difficulty, the highest difficulty in the game. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to put it in the thumbnail. Not thumbnail, the title of the video. Cultural Blitz we get next turn. Estate Star we are on the way to. These are a bunch of slow starts because we aren't going to meet people to get diplomat stars. Food is kind of meh in a lot of places, so agrarian stars is going to be kind of hard. Merchant stars gets easier when we start building. We haven't met anyone to have a military star against. Okay, we could. Let's see. How beneficial is 11 industry isn't negligible. I would prefer not to use up like potentially good farm spots, but there isn't much position otherwise. We did get lumber yards. Masonry would have given us industry for... Okay, sterile terrain does not count. So rocky fields. Oh, there is just straight up production around the wonder. What does a maker's quarter look like here? 7, fine. I'm willing to put 5 turns into that. Cultural Blitz. So even though we haven't finished the pyramids, okay, everything has been taken. A carcass of riches. Wild animals in the forest around Kawuko have always been hunted for their meat, but now an inventor in the city believes that the carcasses can be put to other uses too. They believe the carcasses can be harvested for military, decorative, or subsistence applications. How would the bodies be used? You can militarize for cheaper production in land and naval units, get more money, or get bountiful. Bountiful is an extra 33% food. Save 2 turns. Saves 2 turns on our next pop. That is fine by me. This Maker's Quarter also gives us the ability to hold 1 more worker. We have over 1,000 influence, so once we do get sailing, it will be pretty easy. Ooh, someone is a traitor. It would be pretty easy to land over here, drop an outpost, found the city. Fishing unlocked. Okay, with that done, sailing is going to take a while. I think we don't have access to horses, so domestication really is not on the forefront, but calendar could be. It's going to give us additional space for the granary. Well, a granary will give us additional space for people, and the artisan quarters at least gives us the ability to get these two, which in hindsight, this really was not a priority. I could have left this unattached and gotten the silver and the salt up. But at least building those brings us closer to a builder star. In terms of harbor positions, with the Great Barrier Reef, our harbor is going to give us a lot more food. Ideal harbor positions would be somewhere down here to just give us quick access to these, but they are both not in our current what is the word? It is not currently part of our territory, so we can't place harbors. Okay, a harbor here next to the Great Barrier Reef gives a lot of food. Other positions for harbors would be somewhere up here, which again isn't part of our territory. This territory can easily bring us a harbor down here. This can bring us a harbor down here, and the harbor for Tupai's territory can be here and just make a relatively quick connection. But a fishery can't be done until we get a harbor. But it is roundabout time. Okay, estate star unlocked. It is about time to get a next fish trap on the way, and potentially that harbor. The flooded lands. An unrelenting deluge of rainfall lashes down upon the great city of Kawuka and the surrounding lands. If the rain does not soon stop, the banks of the great river that threads through the city will burst, flooding the adjacent quarters. With limited time and resources, the choices are stark. What will you do? We can adapt. It gives us a chance of, like, gamble is, I generally don't choose gamble. Adapt, it's like chance of bad consequences, I'm willing to take it. Protect is like, adapt is there is a chance nothing happens, or there's a chance like you lose food, I believe it is, per turn. Gamble does major damage. I don't recall what it is, but because I just don't choose it. Protect is either you gain bountiful for a bunch of food or nothing happens. You know what? Fine. I'm willing to put forward the extra 60-ish gold. Oh, it's extra 60 gold. We are though going to start losing faith. Well, we are going to lose the faith per territory that we have for our current access lining. We're negative 10 in the hole. That oh, that's just an extra 6, so not worth. Okay. Cities up to 8 population. I think we are at a global 10. So we can choose a religion. Shamanism, polytheism. Currently, these two give the same amount. This polytheism is useful if we plan to have a bunch of cities. Shamanism is good if we plan to have a bunch of, well, not a smaller number of cities, but bigger territory wise. Currently, these are both the same. We will get a city to the north, but we will also expand to the south. But we were polytheistic last series, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to lean toward shamanism. And luckily no one has the first tenant yet, but we are at a disadvantage. The advantage we have though is that our faith should grow pretty quick. Okay, that is calendar done. This is extra food on our cities. This is 1 science. Yeah. Well, it is +2 science for a research quantum, which is also pretty useless. And this would be food and additional food per salt later on. We don't have need for city defense at the moment. We don't need garrisons because there isn't anyone around for a while. We don't need warriors. We may even find warriors when we start expanding. So I think we get sailing, from sailing into the wheel, and call that good enough. Okay, someone has gone into the classical era. An unknown empire has gone from the Phoenicians to the Carthaginians. Honestly, strong move, because that would be a lot of money. Civics, is there anything? That is 5 units. Have at least 3 commons quarters. Commons quarter and garrison. Besiege an independent people. or more than 10 followers in your religion. Our religion is currently 0. The pyramids, the pyramids is kind of a two-edged sword. It's going to take a lot of time in the early game. So this time that we're spending on the pyramids, we could be doing a lot of other things. I am willing to take 5 turns off to build a granary. Not so willing to take the time off to build artisans' quarters. But granary means more growth. More growth means, okay, someone has gone from the Assyrians to the Persians. More growth means a bigger, better city in the future. Okay, our religion is spreading. We are already at 3 followers. Okay, lucky. And nothing. Fortune favors you. The skies above Kawuka grew darker and darker. The deluge like a sea being tipped upon the city. But then, suddenly, the clouds parted and the rains relented. Days of sunshine followed, and the threat of floods are no more. We borderline wasted our money. So don't do like me. Take the chance. Pay the 60 gold. Be daring. If we had that extra 60 gold, well, we couldn't actually purchase that, but it is the concept. Okay, back on the pyramids. Can we Ew, 40 turns for growth. 4 turns for growth. 5 turns. 8. Okay. Do this. Our stability is 95, mainly because we have... Oh, this... We get a bonus from having units in the city. But they aren't in the city itself, they just kind of roam the territory. A couple artisans' quarters and our stability is back at 100, so I don't mind. We are... Okay, cultural blitz, because we're going to want as much influence as we can when this drops in a couple turns. Okay, our 2 territories have converted to our religion. You need to make your way downtown. We get a next star in 8 turns minimum. The next 2 turns for science to star. Come on. Give me sailing. Okay, sailing research, scientist star unlocked. What do you mean you don't have the technology? Excuse you? Boarding vessel. Yeah, boarding vessel is what we need. No. We need trade expeditions. Oh, this is going to be harder than I thought. I mean, we are researching the wheel, which is the next thing we're going to need, but why did I think we could get into water with just naval transport? But that gives us, I should have built the harbor. Darn it, game. Harbor into Pentaconter. We start exploring the seas. That is at least a benefit. Okay, swamp fever. During the construction of Kauka, our workers dug through an area of boggy, dank ground. Since then, a strange and terrible disease has afflicted a number of them. The symptoms are always the same: fever, vomiting, headaches, and in too many cases, sudden death a few days later. Some claim that the gods are punishing us for our arrogance in erecting so magnificent a structure. Others, however, share stories of a similar sounding affliction blighting other lands. What other lands? We could attempt to better understand the sickness, or perhaps it would be wiser to appease the furious forces responsible for this fiendish curse. Now, I'm gonna study it. That is 500 gold. We don't really have 500 gold. It's gonna put us in the tank for a bit. Take one guy off here, one guy off here. Try and make the best of it. You can go back on auto explore and find probably nothing. City's going to lose stability since we're bankrupt. Okay. Swamp fever part 4, technically. Mercifully, certain easily made compounds cause the sickness, dubbed malaria by some. To losses its bite for those who contracted it. While separating the affected swolls, it spreads dramatically. Doom has been averted. The construction on Kuwaka, may continue without threat. We get learning, so that's plus 15 science. So we can take guys off. Yeah, 15 science is a lot, actually. Yeah, 15 science is basically half the science we are making. Okay, you can go back on alert. Someone has gone from the Corallans to the Goths. So most people are starting to go into the classical era. We are still actually kind of far. We are in 10th place. A lot of people, most people have entered the classical era, surprisingly, but we are struggling for stars based on the small amount of land that we have and the fact that we are currently technically bankrupt. Production on the harbor, I think, should take precedent. We are going to gain a next pop shortly. Work is being done on the harbor, so when we get the harbor we can build a Pentaconter. Agrarian Star unlocked, which gives us technically a new civic, so we can get personal rights and make construction costs of religious districts cheaper. Not what we need. have at least 10 population in your empire and possess at least 2 cities. Can get that pretty soon. We haven't had need to increase our armies. This requires a bit of further movement throughout the eras. Let's see. Oh, since we only have the one city, its entire population is part of our religion. But since we only have the one city, our religious growth is kind of stunted. Someone has already taken Smite the Believers. Luckily, smiting the Believers isn't what we would have been aiming for. Can we? Yeah, we should be able to pass over the Great Barrier Reef. 2 turns away from a harbor. 1 turn away from the harbor. Oh, Estates, we got those stars faster than I was expecting. We can next turn.
Your first harbor gives access to endless expanses of the vast blue seas, great voyages and discoveries. Should have done this ages ago.
Okay, that is the harbor unlocked. A blank slate. In the proud port of Kuaka, a stranger has turned up that no one seems to be able to identify. Indeed, this strange garb and language are unfamiliar to even the most seasoned sailors. Imaginations are running wild as tales spread throughout the town. This mysterious visitor, he could be the most useful presence in your palace, provided you can give the citizens a good account of the stranger's arrival. What story will you tell? We can elevate, so boost them up, give us extra industry. Can consecrate, so we get faith, or we can welcome and get learning. The learning isn't necessarily what we need right now. We kind of want the production. So elevate saves us 3 turns on the pyramids, but more importantly, 1 turn on the pentagonter. We get it done in 2. We're losing stability now because, well, we're losing 8 due to having so many turns left, so many turns in with a negative balance. Also, the forced labor kind of took a bit of time off that also. So we're going to go to the next turn, get our ship.
A first ship. Political force can be projected across the oceans. On windy days, at least.
So with this first ship, I think it's going to be a good time to end the episode. We shall make our first movements into the vast new world next time. But with that, I've been RTG, you have been you. Peace, love, tranquility to all of you, and I will see you next time.